How to find legal help when you can't afford a lawyer. There are several ways you can seek and get legal assistance if you don't have the cash to hire someone to represent you. Here is how to go about finding the right help for your case when money is tight. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I hope you are doing fantastic today. I'm doing marvelous, and if you're doing as marvelous as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea. That's good. We want to talk about a very important topic. How do you find legal help when you cannot afford a lawyer? Now, I just want to quickly give you guys a disclaimer here that this is not legal advice. This is a general information show. We provide general information for your particular case. If you need legal advice, it's better that you seek the expertise of an attorney specialized in the field that you want. It's also very important for you to do your own research so you know, because everybody's case is different, and this is more a general sort of FYI show. Now, the first thing you want to do when you want to find legal help when you cannot afford a lawyer is to contact your county or state bar association. Right now, this is very important because you know, if you don't have cash, a lot of counties and states in the union will have a bar association, and you want to reach out to them, and you may be eligible for free or low-cost legal services. Right now, every state has it. And the larger states such as New York and California have even a wider array, if you will, of legal tools around their county bar association or state bar association. For instance, in California, legal aid groups get grants from the state bar to help people who are low income. Right, I'm talking about, and their clients usually include people with disabilities, seniors, and those facing homelessness. All right. Now, in California, for instance, the Legal Services Trust Program of the State Bar of California administers three funds: what they call Interest on Lawyers Trust Accounts, the State Equal Access Fund, and the Justice Gap Fund. Now, I'm just giving examples here because I'm trying to show you the array of services available to people who are having problems affording a lawyer. So when it comes to California, their funds are granted to nonprofit organizations that provide free civil legal services to low-income Californians. Eligible organizations have included recently Asian Americans Advancing Justice, Affordable Housing Advocates, AIDS Legal Referral Panel, Alliance for Children's Rights, California Rural Legal Assistance, Contra Costa Senior Legal Services, Elder Law and Advocacy, Eviction Defense Collaborative, Housing and Economic Rights Advocates. What you see here is a wide catalog of services that are offered to people who might be disadvantaged. And again, I'm just taking the example of California, but every state in the union has this mechanisms in place. You just have to reach out to your county or to your state bar association and see what program is available in the state where you live. Now, the second thing you can do, besides contacting your county or state bar association, you can also seek help from a law school. We have prestigious law schools in the United States, and you can reach out to one in your area. Right, and the thing here is that you can even hire an up-and-coming law student to give you advice. Right, he or she's probably not going to charge you the $200 that the more experienced lawyers charge. He or she might charge you $10 or $15 or $20. I really don't know, but you can reach out to them. Now, the thing is, generally, students in law school clinics, they're certified to practice law under a faculty member who is a practicing attorney, right? In other words, so their professor can guide them and they can do the work so that it becomes very cheap for you, right? The student practice rules vary by states, so you can actually research what is permissible in your area, right? And many law school clinics represent low-income individuals, and they, even though who make too much money to qualify, might be admitted under certain circumstances. So it's all about your particular case, your particular situation. For example, at Harvard Law School, there the law school clinic there is called the Harvard Legal Aid Bureau, right? And this is a student-run nonprofit law firm staffed by Harvard Law School students under the supervision of attorneys, right? And what they do is they provide free civil, in other words, non-criminal legal help to low-income people in the greater Boston area. Now, of course, it's geographically restricted, which makes sense, right? They're not giving, free legal advice to everybody else in the United States. They have geographically restricted the help to the greater Boston area. So the Harvard Legal Aid Bureau specializes in 5 major areas. So housing, family, government benefits, so things like Social Security, insurance, disability insurance, unemployment. The 4th one is wage theft, and the last area what they focus on is special immigrant juvenile status. So the help they offer ranges from referrals to full case representation, depending on the client need and available resources, right? So the first 2 ways to find legal help when you cannot afford a lawyer are to contact your county or state's bar association, and number 2, seek help from a local law school. I'll be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Q. We're still continuing our conversation today around how to find legal help when you cannot afford a lawyer. And if you love the content you've been hearing so far, and want to encourage us to keep doing it, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell. Also share and like this content. Comment below. Let us know your experience when it comes to seeking free legal help. We'll really appreciate that. The third thing you can do is to reach out to legal aid societies. Now, a legal aid society is generally a non-profit organization found in almost every corner of the country that provides free legal services to low-income people, right? So the thing here is that they do have very stringent criteria when it comes to what they call low income, right? So this is something that if for instance, and the limits really depends on the state where you live. So it could be 20 grand or 25 grand a year in New York. That's the maximum I will say. So if you're making $2,000 a month, which I think $2,000 a month it's even too high. But if you're making maybe $1,000 a month or $1,500, they might consider you, but you have to reach out to them. But the thing here is that even if you have a low income, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll receive legal aid, right? So again, every organization has their own criteria. So you can go to lawhelp.org. This is a nonprofit that connects people with low and moderate incomes to legal help, right? So this can kind of give you an idea of what they do. For instance, in New York, there is something called the Legal Aid Society of New York, and on their website they have written down that they protect and defend the rights of everyday New Yorkers who need legal support, regardless of who they are, where they come from, or how they identify. Their work keeps families and communities together, and in many cases saves lives. So they have a series of programs that they run, and just kind of give you a quick list here. They have advocating for financial rights, affirming LGBTQ plus rights, defending the accused and the incarcerated, empowering people with disability and health issues, engaging and investing in communities, fighting for racial equity, lifting the voices of children and adolescents, preventing homelessness and saving homes, pursuing justice for juveniles, reforming law and policy, standing with immigrants, supporting survivors of violence and navigating divorce, upholding worker rights. So this is just a non-exhaustive catalog of services that the Legal Aid Society of New York offers, and I'm pretty sure that all the legal aid societies throughout the country have a similar agenda or have a similar roadmap. So reach out to one in your area and see how they can help you. Another thing you can do, and this is number 4, you can represent yourself in court. Now, we just finished an entire show on how you want to represent yourself in court, so I'm not going to go too much in details here, but you might want to check that show, and it's really full with very valuable info. So the thing here is that it is possible to represent yourself in court. A lot of folks believe we have this sort of myth around the legal process that we believe is just something very convoluted and very complex or impossible to penetrate. Of course, it is a complex system, but you can represent yourself, and people do represent themselves. Of course, there's a lot of homework to be done. You got to learn the rules of the court, the deadlines to follow, how to file a case, whether you want a jury trial or a judge trial. You need to find out you have to strengthen your case. You have to watch some court cases either on TV or in real life to be able to have the look and feel, to have some comfort level when it comes to talking to the judge. You have to learn proper court etiquette, right, when it comes to not interrupting a speaker, when it comes to being respectful, when it comes to addressing the judge with your honor and not, Judge Jane Doe or Judge John Doe. There are a lot of things, and you got to also know how to, introduce yourself and how to deal with the clerk of the courtroom. So there are several things you need to learn, but the good thing is that you're not paying anybody. You're paying yourself. You're investing your time and your own energy in defending yourself. So this is not, no money is coming out of your pocket. All right, I'll be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Q. We'll still continue our conversation today around how to find legal help when you cannot afford a lawyer. And another thing you can do is to go to small claims court, right? So, of course, this is a court that has its own rules, right? So you need to have there is a limit on the amount of the case, right? For instance, in Delaware, the most you'll be awarded or lose is $15,000, whereas in Rhode Island the amount is $2,500. So it really depends on how much you're seeking from the court, right? And the thing here is that there are some specific rules. This form of litigation, the small claims court, has the lowest cost. It's very low. However, it is sometimes very hard to enforce the court's ruling, right? So the thing here is that, what is a small claims court in general? When you hear the terms small claims court, all this means is that it's a court of law designed to resolve disputes involving relatively small amounts of money in a fast manner. Unlike other legal courts, small claims court does not operate by formal rules of evidence, and attorneys are not usually employed to plead such cases. Instead, plaintiffs and defendants appear before the court and present what evidence they have and their perspective on the dispute, right? So the court will make a judgment based on the evidence presented. Now, when it comes to small claims court, claims made in that type of court typically involve landlord-tenant relations. I'm talking about unpaid obligations and bills, consumer purchases, invoices, and other types of property disputes. All right. So this is very important to remember. Now, if you want to go to small claims court, you have to also understand how the rules of that court are, right? Of course, there are some fees involved. You have a filing charge. You have a filing charge. You have other administrative fees that you need to check with the particular court in your area. All right, And this, again, as I said earlier, is just a lot cheaper than going to a regular court. Number 6. You can also work out a deal with a lawyer. It's very important to do that. You can actually work out a deal with a lawyer if you believe that you found the right lawyer and the attorney is very competent, but you don't have the cash for it. If money is tight, negotiate with the lawyer, right? Because when it comes to legal representation, there are various ways to pay a lawyer. You can pay a lawyer by hourly fees, right? This is the simplest and most common payment method. So the attorney will establish an hourly fee, and they'll bill you for every hour they spend on your case. Another type of payment is called contingency fee, right? And this is what you want to actually negotiate with the lawyer. So it basically works this way. Your lawyer agrees on a contingency fee. So you only pay him or her if he or she achieves a particular outcome, right? I mean, for example, he might agree or she might agree to only receive payments if they help you win the case, with the agreement that the lawyer will keep a percentage of your winnings. This is pretty good because this allows you to not to fork over any cash at the beginning, but it is very risky for the attorney. As a matter of fact, attorneys don't like this sort of arrangements unless they're very sure they're going to win. They know the judge, or they've tried this kind of case several times in the past, right? So another type is a retainer. So for instance, if you retain an attorney on an hourly basis, he or she might ask you to pay a certain amount upfront, right? So this amount goes into a deposit account from which the lawyer can draw wages as they work. So any money left in the retainer at the conclusion of the case returns to you. Another arrangement that might be interesting for you is a fixed flat fees, right? So flat fees are a set amount of charge for a specific service. So a fixed fee can provide more certainty, but if you are in a situation where you don't have the cash, you can't pay the flat fee in the first place. So the contingency fee is what might be interesting to you in your case. So it's worth talking to some attorneys. You want to throw it out there and ask if they will be interested, and right. So this is it. Thank you so much for listening to me today. I really appreciate talking to you. Before I kind of wrap up today, just want to recap what we discussed today. To find legal help when you cannot afford a lawyer, contact your county or state bar association. Seek help from a law school. Reach out to legal aid societies. Represent yourself in court. Go to a small claims court. Work out a deal with a lawyer. Thank you and good luck. Until next time, stay marvelous.